this is not just something that happened within the Vikings workplace environment. This is something that happens within thousands of workplace environments. And as a country, we need to change that.
That was former Vikings punter Chris Kluwe speaking out about his lawsuit against his former team. He's filed a workplace discrimination and defamation of character suit against the Vikings after he was let go. Now, he alleges he was fired after he confronted his former position coach, Mike Pfeiffer, over continuous homophobic comments that he made. Kluwe says he's not suing for money here, and he wants the team to pay $1 million towards a charity for equal rights for gay citizens. Now, Kluwe, guys, was one of the NFL players, only a handful of them, who was supporting gay rights at the time. His position coach kept making comments that, gays were doomed for damnation, etc. And he believes one has to do the other. My question is, people can say stupid things. How hard is it to prove that it was discrimination that led to termination and not performance? Because his numbers weren't terrible, they weren't stellar, he was kind of in the middle. Are these things really hard to prove?
It depends, because a lot of times it's what people say. So once you start going back to the
Let's say you
comments
can
that
prove
were
for
made,
this conversation the guy said this stuff.
well, then it helps him, because he certainly was one of the few people who was very vocal and visible in terms of this issue, and he was very outspoken. And if all of this stuff starts to happen immediately after that, then it gives you the impression that it may have played a role. Now, if he kept a journal, if he has other documentation, other players probably were around when this stuff was going on, he may have a pretty strong case.
Defamation isn't just that the guy said it. You have to prove you were harmed by it, right?
Absolutely.
So how do you prove he got canned because they could say it was we made a personnel decision, that it was a payroll call, or that it was we could have found somebody better, cheaper out there. That's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a very tough case to prove. I mean, certainly I applaud the cause and his support of it, but he, like Mayo's saying, you need to connect the dots. I mean, so somebody is saying things that are offensive about a class of people of which you're not a member, that's offending you, you're talking about it, and now you have to prove that you got fired because of that.
Is intent important?
It's
Do you have to intentionally defame somebody, or can just ugly or ignorant comments, if there's no intention behind it, still be treated as defamation?
I mean, civilly, you don't have to prove intent, but you're talking here about bread and butter discovery. You know, you're going to take the depositions of people that were around at the time, and this person that's making these comments is probably not very careful about what he says. I'm sure he's probably saying other things to other people. There may have been actual discussions about, hey, this guy's a problem, we don't like what he's doing,
It's very interesting
let's
with
fire
some
him.
of the players still on the team, if they're willing to go against their employer.
Well,
here.
people, you are putting people under oath.
Yeah.
And if they're going to tell the truth, if they're all willing to lie under oath, well, there's another problem you got there.
Arfal's going to wrap things up right after this.